Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Guido in Third. Guido has an awesome thing going on there. You can feel free to enjoy the level of detail. It's not actually for this campaign, but it's still awesome looking, and I appreciate his usage of it. Whoops! I just realized I need to do this really quick, which I can do.
I would be more than happy to
There we
keep
go.
this for the campaign.
Dude, I'm happy with that too. I mean, you are the pilot, you know.
Exactly.
So I'm totally with that. It's cool, anyways. Sis, unfortunately, cannot join us tonight. I will be doing a separate recording session to set up her character. The whole point of this, again, is to kind of show the build-up, the making of a character, talking out specifics, balancing math, all that sort of stuff. So, third, you just asked me a question.
How or what are my race statistics, since I am doing a half-elf dwarf?
Now, for those of you at home, the way I do half-elves is half-elf get half of the elven bonus, and then half of the bonus of the other race. Now, the problem here is I haven't actually updated the racial stats since we have completely redone the overall setup for Primus, for the Magasean rule set. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this really quick here, and we're going to look at Z-elves, which are somewhere on this freaking list. Here we go.
It's the first one.
Yes, I don't know how I missed that. I was looking right. I was like, okay, there's dwarves. Let me just go down. Okay, so let me think about this. Obviously, average lifespan for a half elf, half dwarf is going to be decently high. So we're going to say, 1 to 100 is pretty average for that. You automatically gain common and dwarven, so duh. Base move speed 30, again, duh. Even despite the half dwarvenness. So obviously, one of the things that used to be half elven is they gained bonus skills. There's no bonus skills anymore. It's not a thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and give you a bonus career point to be used on a feat or on a attribute of your choice.
Okay.
And from the dwarven stuff, give me just a second to think about this, because that's that, and that acts up, so that evens out. So that's going to be +2, +3, +4, and I need that to be +2. So we're going to give you, this will actually be important, dark vision,
Okay.
and we're going to give you the +2 Constitution saves against poisons, and that's it. And I think we will. So that's going to be that. Yeah. Let's just stick with that. That'll be your racial bonuses.
Okay.
Guido,
Noted.
I'm pretty sure you already did your racial bonuses with the extra attributes.
No.
We didn't talk. Did we talk about that? I honestly don't remember.
So you told me 7 career points and 3 bonus feats or stats,
Yes,
but I have not actually applied those anywhere.
that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I had informed you about that stuff. So, would you like to tell the audience what you're playing, Guido?
So I'm playing a race called the Lavari, and this is an alien race of like transparent blue.
You can't see their organs or anything to make that clear. You just they're kind of, you can see all the way through them, kind of a thing.
And they've been on the moon for a couple hundred years. And,
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm coming in from. I've been working for a mercenary company as a bounty hunter, and I'm kind of tired of the mercenary company, so I'm going to be piloting for the crew.
For a little background info, sorry to step over you here real quick.
No, please do.
So he's actually from another of my stories, or rather the prelude to one of my other stories called Extant, which I've talked about a few times. He was there when they were going through a pretty big war, and he was one of the mercenary crew, one of the bounty hunters who fought involved in that war. That's one of the reasons why Guido's character is going to be starting at level 5. He's already done some stuff, right?
And I won't be leveling for a while.
he won't be leveling for a bit to make up for that. This is my own version of class balance. I know some systems do different things. This is how I usually do this. I've done this before. So he's seen some stuff. He's done some stuff. He's experienced. How much? I'm leaving all the details of that up to him. I'm letting him have kind of free reign on that. If you need any details, obviously just ask me for names or stuff like that. That's fine. But specifics are all up to you. How horrific the war was for you, that's up to you. You know, whether you were a shipboard or ground pounder, that's up to you, etc., etc. So that war did end. And that war has ended, and that was either then or prior to then. Again, up to Guido. That's when he decided to I'm done with this. I'm done with this. I'm done with this company. I'm done with this stupid war. And he went back to Imperial space and found out that there was this system that had been recently opened, which had a Luvari colony on it. And he was like, perfect. I'll go there, gather myself, figure out what's going on. Came to Primus. Now, there is a colony of Luvari. It's not a large colony. It's only like a few 100,000. But they've been living on one of the moons, Ilaria, since Primus has existed. They were one of the people who were planted there specifically to keep watch over the planet. Unfortunately, a few things went wrong. Those details don't matter right now. The long and the short of it is they were basically cut off from Primus for all of Primus's history. So only really recently have they been like, oh, people, thank God. Obviously, there's now fairly regular contact and communication and transportation between the moon and the people down planet side. So Guido obviously could go back, hang out with the Luvari, and be like, hey, and they're like, yes, because the Luvari, seeing another Luvari is like, oh, yes, a person.
Brother,
yeah, tell us of news from outside the cordon, what's been going on, that kind of a thing. So he was welcomed with open arms, and he, thanks to how the Luvari work, so the Luvari tend to be artisans, is what I like to think of it as. They pick something, and they just practice it, like, forever. And they get really, really good at whatever that is. And I believe, Guido, you have decided what that's going to be?
Yeah, that's going to be my piloting.
Okay, so it's going to be piloting in his case. So he is going to be a damned good pilot, even just to start. And will theoretically continue getting better at that throughout the course of the campaign as well. And found himself hired by some random half-elf, half-dwarf weirdo. I'm not even sure what this guy wants. Why don't you tell us about your character a bit here, Third?
All right, so this is actually a new revelation since I literally did this yesterday, so you guys don't even know about this.
Uh-oh.
All right, so his name is Aberoon of Thundermar.
Okay.
Which I'm assuming still exists.
Thundermar's an orc clan.
What? No, are you sure?
I'll double check.
It's a tradition. No, I thought it was a traditional dwarven clan.
Hang on, I'll check.
Hang on.
That's off of my my memory here. Dwarf. There we go. Thundermar. Oh, nope, you're right. There it is, Thundermar. Holy crap.
All right.
My bad. Continue.
But to continue on. Going over the kind of meta stuff first. He's going to be, or he is, a fighter. I get to start at level 1. I don't get to start at level 5. But he is a politician from the Stonehold area, the new Stonehold area, where they actually reformed and brought back people. I don't think the centaurs are there anymore, are they?
No, they're not.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're extinct, I'm guessing.
There might be a couple left alive.
Right. But he's a politician there, an actually honest politician, which is probably why his wisdom is so low. Because everybody can just pull the wool over his eyes all the time. Yes, I rolled crap on wisdom. That's my dump stat. We'll have fun with that.
I never ask for will saves as a GM.
Yes, but all throughout his life, which is a ripe old age of, well, I guess he's a dwarf, so let's increase that a little bit because, they matured a little bit later. Ripe old age of 52. He has had enough with trying to convince people to take up this exploration expedition because everybody's like, no, that's not profitable. It's no reason we would put thousands and thousands of gold towards that. Actually, probably millions.
Yeah, millions. That's ridiculous. That's such a waste of everything. God.
So he's like, fine, I'm taking my ball and going home. And by that, he essentially poured all of his funds into purchasing his own semi-functional, used spaceship.
Which I just realized I can pull up a picture of.
Yeah. I've got the stats for it here, too. And I guess since I'm buying it, I get to name it, right?
No! I get to decide the name of it.
Well, whatever its name was, that's not what its name is now. It's now the Nakshatra.
The Nakshatra.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's got a whole bunch of stats that I won't bore you with right now, because I don't think we've actually hashed out every single one. But
I mean, we did a pretty good job.
we did a pretty good job. But I won't sit here and list off 20 different stats that we have, because that's kind of boring. You'll find out as the game comes along. But yeah, he essentially sent out a call. He is the lowest bidder for anyone who wants to join his crew. And apparently he's attracted somehow, by some means, an actual experienced pilot.
Well, we'll talk about that. I've already got some ideas on that.
And a medic? Is she still going to be a medic?
She's a medic, yeah. She and I actually hashed some of that out while she was on the phone. Real quick, how do you spell the name of your ship?
I will post it in chat.
It is the... There we go. And then I'll go ahead and add an image of it for our viewers that I just ripped. This is... Really? There we go. Some of our more astute viewers will recognize this as a Star Citizen image, which I am just giving proper credit to here. But yes, for obvious reasons, Star Citizen was a good thing to pull for a lot of ideas for this type of ship, because the only other option really was Star Wars.
So if you're familiar with that Star Citizen ship, it's essentially a...
there we go.
Not a retrofit, a different equipped general craft. It is a frigate class, I believe. So it can hold a solid number of people, but not too many to be an actual capital ship, and it's capable of atmospheric landings. So,
which is very important.
We'll be having a lot of fun with that.
It's extremely important, actually. The more for my viewers, I've spent a lot of today, like hours upon hours, just sitting down, building the world, building the details, and all I'm going to say is that you guys really need to go planetside a lot. So I'm glad you have that.
Well, we've actually got a lot of stuff to be pretty self-sustained. We've got an armory, the atmospheric configuration, a locker for exploration equipment, a workshop, hydroponics, and lifeboats just in case we get our pretty little ship blown apart.
That reminds me, one of the things you're also getting, it's actually coming with her. It's basically part of her equipment, but you're getting a metatube. Something you can lay in. It's got tools. It can be used as a surgery bed. It can be used as a restorative bed.
It's like that one in Prometheus.
Why did you remind me of that? God, I even saw that recently. Not the whole movie, just that scene.
Is that not what it is?
It's very similar, except it's actually more advanced. I'm basing this specifically off of the one in Star Trek Voyager, because I figured you've seen Voyager, so you would actually know what I'm talking about there. You psychopath.
All right. Well, if we get the Russian version, we'll get the one from Prometheus.
No.
What was the movie where the guy woke up like 80 years early?
Oh, that's the recent one, right?
Yeah.
Hang on. I know what you're talking about. It's the Chris Pratt movie.
Oh, that one with Jennifer Lawrence, too?
Yeah. I'm just looking at Chris Pratt.
Is it like Passenger or something like that?
Yeah,
is it
Passengers.
Yep, there it is, Passengers, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that one. So.
Well, they have like a super ridiculously advanced medbay diagnostic thing on that. So yeah, it's common.
Terrible movie, but
terrible movie. Yeah, common science fiction trope in general. But either way, you got that. So do me a favor, add that to the ship stats somewhere.
Well, I'm just going to call this a med tube, I guess.
Medtube works. So sorry, I kind of interrupted you. Please continue.
All right. So there's not a whole lot to Aberone. He's a pretty simple dude. Rolled really great for my stacks, except for wisdom. That's a 6. But he's pretty strong, pretty dexterous. They're actually going for a ranged fighter type build.
Probably
Pick
going to have
up
a
stuff.
gun, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, so explain to me how guns are actually going to work.
Okay, so the the problem is there's a disconnect between gameplay and story. When and this is I'm saying this more for my viewer's sake. You obviously know all this third. When you have something like a gun, obviously skill in using a gun is an important factor, but that's just that's the attack roll, right? The damage of a gun really does depend on the gun. And a lot of systems have tried to get around that by saying that, my famous example, the strength stat, increases the gun damage, or the dexterity stat increases the gun damage. What I like to do is I like to do a three-part system. So there's your actual skill in using the gun, which is going to be your attack roll. And you could put like feats or career points into that or whatever. And then there's going to be the actual ammunition of the gun, and then there's going to be the gun itself. Now, I hate to do this, but have you played Borderlands or any of the Borderlands games?
Yes, I have.
I'm thinking of basically doing something like that for the overall gun system. In other words, there's going to be ammo types, rather than going into specifically 115 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 9 millimeter, all that stuff. Because there are so many.
Everything uses 5.56.
Yeah, yeah.
We're done.
Instead of doing all that, we're going to do a much more basic. We got your slugs, we got your assault rifle, we got your pistol, and other as needed. Energy based and probably explosive. That's probably it. Those 5 right there. To make that nice and simple. I'm not going to make you keep track. Well, okay. Here's the thing. I'm going to decide if I'm going to make you keep track of ammo based on the gun that you have. Most of the actual stat from what's happening is probably going to come from the gun itself. The idea here is that, so let's say you pick a really nice revolver, for example. I am going to make you keep track of those 6 bullets. Because of course I am. I mean, that makes a degree of sense, right? If you pull up a nice, an M4 carbine equivalent or whatever like that, I'm not going to make you keep track of the. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how many. I was trying to think of how many bullets are in a magazine, but I'm not going to keep you track. 30. I'm not going to make you keep track of the 30 bullets. That's stupid. But I will have you after so many rounds. Okay, you need to swap out the magazine kind of thing, and that's a half action kind of a thing. But what I'm thinking, and I want to talk this out with you, so I guess I haven't gotten to the point yet. We can really. The reason I mentioned the Borderlands thing is we can really lean the damage, which is the really important part of the equation here, on the ammo or the gun itself. And I'm kind of torn because I see both as having a valid reason to be that. Now, well, go ahead.
So out of those, I would probably say lean more toward based in on ammo. And the reason being is that the plated RPG systems that base it off of the gun, what you eventually end up is everybody just uses the same gun. Because there's one that is obviously superior to the others.
That's true.
Now, some systems try to balance it out by giving some certain properties, but in the end, generally, you still do end up with, well, let's just all use the assault rifle because it's the best gun.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's my thoughts on that.
Guido?
No, that's fine. I was thinking more along the keeping track of the ammo. My brain was still stuck on that.
Oh, okay.
I was reminded of the Dungeon World method, where you're given, say, 5 ammo.
Mm-hmm.
You have infinite ammo until you fumble a roll, at which point you lose an ammo.
Okay.
So if you fumble so many times, then you have no ammo until you go and restock.
I kind of like that idea, actually. I think I might go with something like that, because I was thinking of something semi-similar to that, which is admittedly a little bit based on XCOM. For those of you who haven't played XCOM, you have infinite ammo, but a limited clip. You have to reload. But you have infinite reloads. That's something I was leaning towards. But I kind of like that fumble idea better, because that's going to pull a little bit of irritation out of it, while still being penalizing if things go badly. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's make that official. So yeah, let's me think. I think we'll set everyone at like a default of 3 ammo as like the base value for this kind of system, and then I'll allow like preparation or equipment or feats or whatever to push that up as situation requires. If you want to, of course, you don't have to.
I like it. I mean, it's a system that makes sense. So
Yeah, yeah, I know, I agree. That's a great system. Thank you for that suggestion. Guido actually has more experience GMing sci-fi stuff than I do, because last thing I GM'd for sci-fi was like in 2008, which was a Star Wars campaign. So I'm a little out of touch. But okay, so let's do this then. So I didn't really. The rumination I did today was my Borderlands rumination, so this is kind of fresh in my mind, forgive me. But part of the equation for me, too, was if I wanted this to be an heirloom system or a loot system. And a loot system is constantly swapping out loot, like Torchlight. Good example of that. An heirloom system is you got your gun, like Justite. I know Justite isn't a gun, but the only thing you do is you try and upgrade
Mag
it.
Lancer.
Yeah, the Mag Lancer. You just upgrade it or add new ammo as you go, and I kind of like that system better. And if we do most of the damage based on the ammo, then that will be more of an heirloom system, which I'm okay with. So
I like the heirloom system because it's more it how to word this so it makes sense. You have a character archetype, and gunslinger or sniper or whatever, it doesn't really matter. You will stick with that type of weapon instead of swapping out to, like Third was saying, get the best gun in the game.
yeah.
You're going to want to stick with your character's weapon. So
No, I agree completely, and I like that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a new stat to the game. I'm sorry. And it's going to be real simple. Weapon focus. This is the weapon type you are best with. This is intended to be your weapon, like you were just talking about, Guido. And you can still use other weapons, just like you can use an untrained weapon in D&D, just at pretty big penalty, right? And I'm going to let you choose, because, this is something that would be trained, right? So it makes sense to me that you would train or get skilled at whatever it is you would prefer.
So is this going to be like a really specific weapon, or
No.
category?
Like an assault rifle, or like a sniper rifle, or like an energy pistol, or a grenade launcher, an RPG.
I choose RPG. No.
Shotgun, stun pistol. Oh, by the way, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, her focus is going to be stun pistol. She's already decided on that.
Okay.
she's taken the Hippocratic Oath.
Basically, yeah. In fact, at first she wanted to have no weapon at all, and I liked the idea of the hyper specialization of that. But I was like, realistically, you probably should have something. So she's going to get a stun gun.
Even McCoy had a
phaser, yeah.
A phaser, yeah.
No, you're right. They have a stun setting for a reason. It's why it's there.
All right. Weapon focus shotgun.
Okay.
There we go. Wait, are there laser shotguns?
There are laser shotguns.
Space laser shotgun.
Space laser shotgun. Okay. No, with all sincerity, you remember how I mentioned that there's the 3 damage types?
Why did that set you off?
Guido has lost it. It's over. It's over.
No. Warhammer 40K.
Yep, no, exactly what I was thinking too. That's the exact same thing.
Can I have a bolter?
No. I just want a bolter pistol. I know what that is. So okay. I'm sorry. I probably should have said this before I made you decide. I mentioned how there's the 3 basic damage types for your ship, and for our viewers at home, that's ballistic, projectile, and energy-based. Same thing with handguns. Same with hand cannons, or hand whatever. So you can have energy shotgun. That is actually a thing.
Okay.
So, and you can have energy sniper rifle and you and all that. In fact, projectile shotgun, those exist in real life. Like,
I know. There's one in the next room.
no, I mean
So,
like not that not a ballistic, which is what a real a normal 12 gauge is, but I mean like a shotgun that shoots explosive shells.
all right.
In fact,
We
I actually had one of those in Borderlands when I was playing it yesterday. But again, I know that kind of thing exists in real life.
Hopefully, it
yes.
wasn't the flacker.
No, it was not the flacker.
Worst gun in that game, I swear.
I know, no, it totally is. Okay, I got to share real quick story. I was playing Borderlands 1, I think, and I got this gun that had like mega accuracy, mega range, and super quickly reload speed. And I'm like, oh man, this gun is freaking amazing. And I'm like, all right, let's go. And I find my first thing, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. It was a shotgun. Now, it was indicated as a shotgun, but I didn't notice that. So I'm like, ah! Get a little closer. Ah! Get a little closer. It had like a 10-foot range, is the summary of the story. This super scoped accuracy death shotgun had a 10-foot range.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. So, Guido, you can take your time if you want to decide later.
I just had a brilliant idea. Are you familiar with the show Legends of Tomorrow?
I am, actually.
Okay.
I may have to look something up, though, so let me double check.
Captain Rip Hunter. I'm letting you look up whatever you're looking up.
Sorry. Okay, continue.
So the I'll say laser pistol that he has, that's what I want, but I want two of them.
You want it akimbo this. Okay. Tell you what. I'm gonna let you if you want. So first of all, you can totally do energy pistol. That's fine, obviously. I'm going to say the usual dual wielding penalty applies like crazy, unless you go ahead and burn a feat or a career point on, dual wielding specialty, basically, a Kimbo specialty, which will negate that or reduce that, I should say. Pretty much the same thing in normal D&D when you're dual wielding, so I don't really need to clarify on that. Where's my notes? This is a loud song. What the hell? There we go. Now we've got deep Gregorian chanting. So, looking at my notes here. Right. Okay. Now, one of the... Okay, so, like I said, I've been figuring out a lot more of the specifics, and I want to tell you a little bit of some of these particulars of what's in the way of you, of anybody going into space, okay? So obviously you need a bunch of permits and stuff, right? Now, this will come in a little bit more when we get to the first mission, so you don't have to actually sell this now. I just want you to be aware of this. Because one of the things that's required, mandatory, to legally go out into space... Yeah, that is the one I was thinking of. In order to legally go out into space, is you have to have a certain permit, which requires, usual bureaucratic nonsense. I'm going to say, third, you have finished most of that process by the time the adventure begins, but not all of it. So you have your ship, it's in bay, it's not legal yet to take off. One of the problems is there's this one manufacturer in Holtberg that produces specially woven ink that's used for the contracts that you have to sign in order to get the form necessary in order to have a legal permit to fly.
Okay.
And that's dealing with that is going to be one of the initial problems that'll be part of your first mission. But I wanted to get across that info because you have... I imagine your character has just been slogging through red tape for possibly like a full year at this point. Like getting the ship. Okay, yeah, I bought the ship. Now I need to do this, and now I need to get the insurance, and now I need to make sure I have this. Oh God, and I need to do this. Okay, I'll get it inspected. What do you mean this hinge is coming off? Can't you just weld it? No, I need a specialized welder with an actual degree and all this crap you had to go through.
What are even space emission tests? Like,
Seriously,
what's that?
why do I care what I'm shooting out into space? Seriously. But the only part that's really relevant right now, and the thing I want you to decide right now, is how legal you have been at going through this process.
Extremely legal.
Okay. Because, as I think I just implied, the alternative is an option.
Yeah, no, this guy is really, really good, and I mean morally good politician. He will definitely follow all the laws that he needs to.
Okay. Awesome. Also, I like the warp speed thing there. What's funny is you fired that up as soon as the song shifted, so it's like dun up. Perfect timing.
Awesome.
Perfect timing. Okay, so we got that. The patrol thing, as I already mentioned. One thing I didn't mention last week, which I'd want to get across really quick, because this is going to be kind of a setting thing, is there is this debris field, which is literally just called the debris field. And it's a big obstacle for any ships or anything, any drones, satellites, going further inner system. Obviously, as I mentioned, you're one of the furthermost outer planets of the system. So you have access to the Chrism world, you have access to Primus, you have access to Primus's 2 moons, and you have access to the gas giant. I haven't named any of these planets yet, forgive me. You have access to the gas giant, and that's basically it as far as free movement and free control. So I just wanted to get across that bit of info. Now, obviously, all you have to do to get to the inner 6 planets... 5 planets, is to get through that debris field. And whatever that entails.
Does this happen a whole lot, or?
Roll int?
Alright. Sure. That's a natural 20.
Okay, you have heard tales. Some of them are clearly exaggerative. But you have heard tales that there are certain pilots and there are certain... groups who have been trying to pierce the debris field for some time at this point. And based on your own experience and your high roll, you're pretty sure most of those are garbage, as in lies.
Okay.
So
logically, they just couldn't do what they said.
Exactly.
I
So
don't believe that anything anyone says, but if he's got a logical fallacy, then it's no go.
exactly. So realistically speaking, most people probably have not actually gotten past the debris field at this point.
Okay, gotcha.
I think that's actually all I have to dump on you right now. What do we still need for characters so we can finish making these up?
Let's see. Starting gold, which I'm assuming I'm probably going to have almost nothing. But...
1.
All right, 1 gold. There you go, done.
Wait, do you want to take a bribe?
Do I want to? No.
Do you want to take another bribe?
Wait, who's bribing me to do what?
You're a politician.
Oh.
5 people show up to bribe you every day.
No, I've never, that's one of the campaign slogans. I've never taken a bribe.
Actually, that's a good point. For someone like you, that's probably not the norm. Probably like once a month, someone shows up just in case. Like, so, I got tickets to the latest Valsenball game. It's going on in Aljalima next month, and
just
saying.
Amaroon is like the kind of guy who'd buy tickets for him to the local game, get 2 seats and then buy him lunch and then explain why bribes are not the right way to do it.
And the whole time the guy, who was just a toady who was hired to blackmail, basically a lobbyist, who's just sitting there really awkward like...
Yeah. And see, this is why, he's gotten some fame. Like, he's not a corrupt politician, so he's probably not going to go up to the top. He's not that, wise to do that, but he's got some followers. That's where he's at.
Okay. Now let's actually roll for your starting gold.
Okay.
It's not going to be a lot. Oh, well, you can roll it too. 2d8.
Okay. I will start with 10.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. But average. But here's the big question. Can I buy a gun with that?
Yes. I'm going to say yes.
Okay. So I've got to start with the gun, otherwise I literally have 2 feet, so I'm not using.
I'm sorry, I'm just really amused by that. Like, no, I could legitimately picture this guy. Oh, I'm still trying to learn your name, so forgive me.
Ever.
Everoon. And he's like, all right, I'm ready to go to space. I've got everything I need. I've got the ship. I've got this. I even took weapons training in energy shotguns. I'm good. Where's your weapon? Why would... Uh, um...
Yeah, it's
Son
not
of a
good.
crap!
We'll work out prices in just a second. Guido, do you have anything you still need to do with your character sheet? I mean, yours looks pretty good. Looks like we need to set up your HP.
Yeah.
Oh, because you're... Okay, so, we need, give me 1 second. I still have this up. I didn't close any of my tabs from last time, thankfully. So I'm ready to go on all that.
Are you still doing max HP?
Yes, we're still doing max HP. I've done that since the 90s. So we're still doing that. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so that means Guido, your hit die. Yep, that's what I thought. I was pretty sure it was a D8.
I'm pretty sure I'm a D10. Yeah.
Yes,
So.
you're a fighter. You're D10.
I start with 12 hit points.
So, Guido, I don't know if we really discussed the cunning action thing. Hang on, let me see what you wrote down here. It doesn't really say. So, as a class feature, and you can put this wherever you want, or maybe you already have and I just missed it, you get to take that additional action once per combat is going to be the cooldown on that. And that's...
Oh, it's, okay.
And it's the cunning action to just... you do whatever, basically, but the main idea is, of course, to use your utility items, as we were talking about previously. And because of your experience and because of your background, I'm going to let you start with 3 bonus utility items at the start. I'm going to be super lenient on what those are. Obviously, I have some ideas myself, as I was talking about last time. So if you need any suggestions... Unless you already know what you want, in which case that's cool.
No, I'm going to have to think about it.
Okay, that's fine. No rush. But so you're going to get 3 of those to start. You can buy more with your starting gold, which is the next thing I wanted to cover.
So you say I have 3 cunning actions. Is that then 3 per combat, or is that going to be 3?
I'm sorry. Let me clarify my statement a little bit because you have 3 gadgets to start with.
Okay.
And then the 1 cunning action to have a free use of those during combat. Or other things. You can use your cunning action for other things as well, obviously. In fact, let me double check something really quick. Just in case you want to write it down, things you can do with your cunning action. Take a move action. Take a... obviously using one of your utilities. I think I'm going to go ahead and make a single attack. Not an attack action, but 1 shot as part of that. I hope I'm explaining that as clearly as I want to be. And anything... We'll say roguey or piloty. Like, for example, if you're in the middle of combat and you want to... you've moved over here and you've already shot. It's like, I really want to try and sneak behind this thing and get out of line of sight and break contact with the enemy. You can cunning action to do that. If you're in the middle of, basically initiative while you're flying the ship, and you want to take a cunning action to do an additional thing while piloting, you can do that as well. Make sense?
Okay. Mostly, yeah.
Okay. If you have any questions, please ask. I know I'm terrible at explaining stuff.
It's the whole new system thing, so we're all kind of learning.
No, yeah, I'm with you. Okay, and so yeah, let's figure out your starting gold. Let, let's talk about the war a little bit to figure this out. Now, obviously, did you fight on the side of the people? Hang on, I actually have names. You just got to give me a second to pull it up.
So, not knowing whose side was who, and go ahead and continue looking that up. But what I was picturing is I was hired to pilot some kind of ship,
Here we go.
fairly large, like starship type.
Okay.
And our mission was to bomb planets from orbit.
That's pretty horrible, but okay.
And that was what I mean. The realization of what we were doing, my piloting a ship into orbit to, orbitally bombard a planet, whether or not there were troops or civilians, it was just horrific.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's messed up. And what's funny is without meaning to, I know exactly who you're working for, because that's a thing that happened. There was a specific planet that got bombed, and that's one of the things that kind of shifted the entire course of the war, is when that happened, because they just lost all of the support, because it was such a horrific act. And they were trying to do it. In fact, you know what, if you want, because they were trying to do it secrecy, and, they didn't get away with it, I don't mind letting you be the guy who was the whistleblower on that.
Oh, that's perfect.
And yeah, and being the one who was like, and bring the logs, bring the vidcoms, and being like, look at what happened. Look at what happened over on this planet. I have a bunch of notes. Okay, here. So that would be you were working for the terrain. I know that sounds like terrain. The Tyrain, actually, I think is how I'm supposed to pronounce that. As part of the Cabal was the name of the organization, the specific merc group that was selling out to them. And yeah, so that worked perfectly. Let's see. Where's the name of that planet? There it is. Felvis is the name of the planet that you bombed. Felvis. It's like I said, that's already part of the story. So you did that. You bailed. You're like, screw this mess. I'm going home. And that was towards the end of the war too, so that worked perfectly. You headed back to Imperial space. How long do you think you hung out in Imperial space before you decided to ship over to Primus? Because you got like about a year or two window there that you could work with.
Probably about a year.
Okay.
I could see that. I mean, I was probably drinking myself stupid for several months before someone told me, this the cordon is down and this world needs pilots.
Okay.
Something to that effect.
Okay. So then you just hopped the next transit out there. It was a semi-regular thing for a while. It still is to an extent. Headed out. Moon. Oh my god. Tell us what's going on outside the world. Nothing. Nothing happened.
Yeah. Everything's fine.
Everything's
look,
great.
Hindenburg.
Yeah. So, okay. And then, so you've been here... Again, I'll let you kind of decide this, because you've still got about a year period. We could stretch this one way or the other. So how long do you think you've actually been in the Primus system at this point? Because you could be super new, or have already established yourself as a decent pilot. I think both of these, or anything in between could work, I think.
Here's what I'm picturing. I was doing shuttle runs between Primus and the moon or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
I want something more fulfilling.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
So I basically jumped on the first opportunity that presented itself, which happened to be this super cheap, I need a pilot.
Okay.
I volunteer. I'm
Yeah, yeah. No, I love it because that means name. Actually, you know what?
Abaroon.
Hang
Can
on.
you just put it in chat?
Yeah, do me a favor because I'm just going to change it on the screen. I just realized I can do that here. Where's Snarg's name? There it is. Abaroon of Thunderbar. There we go. We actually got it on the screen now. Also, if you want to change your font, just let me know.
Okay.
Because I'm still using the font I use for Snarg. So you
I dropped 2 into the Dropbox as well.
okay, awesome.
I don't know if they've uploaded yet, but
I'll check it as soon as we're done with this. So Abaroon, you were kind of running low on funds, and what you're hiring for is something most pilots aren't okay with, for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a pretty small pool for your initial thing, and you're like, yes, I can't really afford to pay hazard pay or the tertiary pay or the inter-system tax or the outer system tax or the out of orbit tax, which is another thing. And so and a few of the pilots just got up and started walking out of the room. And this Luvari, who I'm not even sure if you know what a Luvari is. I mean, you probably at least heard of them. I don't know if you've encountered them
my
before.
specialist. What was my specialist? It was zoology. That's right. Maybe I don't know.
No, yeah, you're right. It was zoology. Did I tell you my sis has a Pokedex, by the way? And by sis, I mean her character does.
Oh, okay.
It's not literally a Pokedex. It's a Pokedex scanning thing. Like, you know how almost any game like that lets you scan random mobs and get info on them? She's got one of those.
You get the achievements.
Exactly. Anyway, so, you haven't quite answered me yet.
I really want to look up the sound effect for the tricorder now.
Let's see. I mean, he probably doesn't know.
Okay, so you see... And I'm not actually 100% sure what you look like yet, Guido, or if you've decided on that.
Like a punk rocker T-shirt, baggy jeans.
I'm still trying to build the image in my head.
Okay,
and,
so
run it past you. So
you see some weird kind of translucent-looking guy. You don't recognize the race, so I assume you would automatically think, well, that's a out-of-system, Imperial, whatever guy who pretty much jumps up and says, "Me, I volunteer."
Oh, perfect! You're hired.
Yeah, and you're
no,
desperate at this point.
I don't know if he jumped that quickly to it. No, actually, it's a 6 wisdom. Yeah, you're hired.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Hang on. I gotta send this to the group.
Okay.
If I can do that. I'm not sure how to do that. Anyway, so okay, so based on that, let me think about this for a moment. I'm gonna let you guys determine in character, on screen, how much you're paying him and when. So you can negotiate that either now or later. But I think for the start, given what you've been doing, you're not going to be super rich, Guido. But you're gonna
I have some money saved up, but
yeah, exactly. You're gonna have some money ready to go, and you're gonna have enough money to equip yourself. So why don't we go ahead and set you? Do me a favor and roll 2d4. And that'll be your starting gold.
Pay is good, but adventure is its own reward.
Sorry.
Okay.
I thought I had my dice.
They're gone. How do I share this?
Are you just trying to share it in a group chat?
Yeah, and I don't actually know how to. Normally I can click an image and save it. Ah, here we go. And then I could just do this. So apparently this is Sis. I'm not sure if she's decided on this. She shared several images, but I'm just going to send it to the group. She can get her own image back. There we go. So, okay, so that's
5.
5. That's actually decent. That's
2d4.
2d4. Yeah, we're pretty averaging so far. Okay, so looking at your stats, so we got HP. So
I'm
Obviously,
assuming I will start with some equipment.
oh yeah, absolutely. In
So-
fact, you get a gun to start for free, basic gun. What? He's been doing this for a while. I shouldn't say a gun. Excuse me. I just forgot. You get 2 guns to start because you're the akimbo thing. I am gonna make you buy ammo out of your starting gold, though. I think we're
Okay.
gonna. What? But whatever. Um, what else? Let's see. We got that. We got that. Do me a favor and replace one of the. Both of you do this. One of the alternate currencies, like platinum or writs. Replace one of those with just the word credits, and
Okay.
another one with the word chops.
Okay. I have gold, credits, and chops.
Yeah, and we might end up using a couple other currencies. I haven't really decided yet. We'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. But if you want to put more room for more currencies, it might not be a bad idea. Let's see. Yeah.
Mana is not going to be a thing that we're going to be using, right?
Unless you are a mage, no.
All right, so I can just clear out that section.
Yeah. Let's see. Just looking at Guido's sheet here to try and figure out what we haven't figured out yet.
I suppose I should share my sheet, so...
Okay.
Oh, did you decide on a name yet?
For the Primus system.
No, for the campaign.
The Primus system. No, I haven't. Honestly.
Well, let me ask this. What kind of campaign do you think it's going to be? More lighthearted? More dark and edgier? Or...
It's gonna be super. It's anything I've written ever is dark. I've noticed this about my own writing. It's not intentional. It really isn't. Oh, apparently she just sent the actual image of what she looks like. My bad. So she's actually playing an Intithan, which is another race I've invented.
Okay.
Which looks like the picture she just sent. So she's going to be basically a plant/tree person. So you're going to have a translucent individual. Don't know what he looks like yet. So going to be some kind of hair thing going on. A tree woman and a half-elf, half-dwarf.
Perfect.
I love it. I love the dynamic. Okay, so let's look at what you got here. So we got her stat, element, focus, weapon. HP, AC is, of course, going to start at crap. So I think I've already mentioned this, but all woven gear isn't going to work off planet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't picture most of this campaign happening on Primus itself. I do have a couple of story elements that are relevant to Primus, and obviously Primus itself I'm still developing. But my point is, if you guys don't even want to bother with Primus-centric gear, I'm not gonna penalize you for it.
Okay.
So, now that being said, non-Primus gear has to be imported because the local industries, for many reasons, some of which are political, some of which are economic, haven't really gotten past that. So most people who go out into space or leave the planet for any reason are wearing, armor or wielding weapons that were imported. Like these guns that you're using, I guarantee you those guns were imported from out of system. That is going to put the price up a little bit, so it's going to be a little more costly than it was back on Primus. But at the same time, I'm not going to be super bad about that. It also is going to limit supply a little bit more. However, the good news is that there's only like one major company that's really doing a lot of business out of system. There's this random company I'm sure you never heard of called Ice Your Shipping. And they're pretty much the guys who have the monopoly. As soon as the first Imperial people showed up, they were like, trade agreements! You wanna do some shipping? I mean, we got this. And not to spoil too much, but your first mission's also gonna have to do with Ice Your Shipping. Anyways, let's look at those things. So we got the feet, precise shot, yes, initiative, diplomacy, and focus. Okay, yep. Space laser shotgun. I think we're actually good on this. Yes. Your equipment, nothing. And here's the ship. Let me just check here. Yes. Okay. And you've even got a thing for the hard points. That's awesome. Let's go ahead. So I noticed we don't have your HP yet for the ship.
Right.
Let's go ahead and establish that right now. Let's make it. I need to actually math this out. So again, part of the reason of doing this live on camera is so that the viewers can kind of get part of the process. So let me talk through some of the math here. The idea is I'm using a fairly... I like to use small numbers whenever possible. I find that to be easier to balance, and I find it to be easier to comprehend for a player or a viewer or whatever. And I just don't agree with the general inflation that a lot of systems have done. FF13, excuse me. So... ship weapons are actually going to be doing, D8s and D10s and D6s of damage. Obviously, this is just another system. If a ship gun shot a person, they wouldn't take 1d8 damage. They die. So this is just kind of a...
Yeah, you're talking like macro cannons versus a pistol.
Exactly. So for the sake of variety and the dice, we're keeping it relatively simple. So what I want is, this is a pretty crap ship. No offense. So this isn't exactly a battleship. It can't take a lot of hits. But as a GM, I don't want them to be able to lose the ship to one lucky roll, or unlucky roll as the case may be. But I also don't want them to be able to just sit there and take damage forever. So we start thinking about ranges. So a typical gun is going to do 1d8 damage. That's the average run for most ship guns at the lower level of things. So I can't give them 8 HP because one lucky shot, it's over, right? I mean, you've got some armor there, but that's not gonna really do much for that. So I want them to have more HP than that, and also considering that most ships have multiple guns, you can see where this becomes a problem. So what I'm thinking, as I'm picturing this, and I want to think how many shots, like I want you to picture in your head, like in lore, picture 3 TIE fighters are attacking a Corellian Corvette, right? How many shots do you think it takes those TIE fighters to destroy that Corellian Corvette? Assume it doesn't have any shields for a moment. Just the hull, right?
Just the hull?
Yeah.
1?
Oh, come on.
I mean, it depends on where you shoot it.
Well, okay. If you say 1, though, what you actually mean is 6, right? 3 TIE fighters, two shots each.
Well, no, I mean, I literally mean like 1 bullet. Like if it...
So the guy leans out of the cockpit. Hang on. There we go. And that's the end of the Corellian Corvette.
Oh, I mean, it's like seriously like a... I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it seems like if you don't have shields up and you get hit in a little space freighter...
Well, I mean,
you're pretty much venting right after that, and that's you gotta go.
That is valid. Although in Star Wars, ships do have armor in addition to shielding.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm assuming we're not talking like Han Solo's Millennium Falcon or anything like that.
No. In fact, a Corellian Corvette is actually bigger than you are, if you'll remember, and better armed. No, that's not true. Actually, you have more hard points than a Corvette does. A Corellian Corvette only has 6 total. I'm a ship geek. Anyways, Guido, you were about to say something before we cut off on that tangent.
So...
Oh, wait a minute. I'm thinking of the wrong ship. I was thinking of a freighter. Never mind. No, I changed my answer.
The CRV
I'm thinking of the blockade runner. That's the one, right?
Yeah, the blockade runner from
Okay, never mind.
the first movie.
I changed my answer then.
Okay.
Because I was thinking of a small little dinky freighter. I was like,
well, no, yeah, in that case, yeah, no, there, all right, and there we go.
No, this thing, from a TIE fighter?
From 3 TIE fighters.
From 3 TIE fighters?
The point is, how many shots total do you think that Lance is going to take to bring down that mini capital ship? That's the general idea. I mean, I could hop in TIE Fighter and test, but that game's not quite balanced. because
No.
a TIE fighter can kill an ISD in that game, if you know what
I was gonna
I'm
say, I mean, even if it's down to armor, I think the Corvette could like still kill him. But anyway, no, not discounting that. I guess. I mean, I'd say about maybe a dozen or more before it starts really, really feeling it really bad.
Okay.
I mean, what I'm picturing, if we're using TIE fighters as the attack, they have multiple shots. Each
Yeah.
shot, I would say, probably did a D4.
Exactly
but
what I was
they each
thinking.
get 2 shots per turn.
Also exactly what I was thinking.
So you're talking potentially 8 damage per, so 24. If the ship is going to escape after 1 round of combat, you're looking at probably 30 hit points.
That's actually pretty much the exact same direction I was thinking in. Now, I also want to establish, part of the reason I wanted to establish this now is because this is basically going to be ground level as far as hit points. Every other ship is probably going to be up from here unless it's literally a fighter. Or like Third was thinking earlier, a literal freighter. So, yeah, I think I agree. Let's go ahead and give it 30 health to start. And I think if you try to upgrade the ship, that can be changed. And if you try to repair or add on to that, I mean, I guess that's more the armor slots than that. So actually, I take that back. We already talked about that, so no need to cut it. Now, I notice you have drive listed there as a question mark.
Max drive. I just didn't know if there was actually a max level I could go up to.
Let's cap you at 5 on this ship. That's going to be
All right.
arguably more than you need anyways for something like this. Okay, so we got that. Character ideas. TNG, first thing I saw.
Oh yeah, no, we went over that last time.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's funny because the other thing I worked on today was my TNG intro. So, okay. Let's do some gear purchasing. Unless anyone else has anything else they feel like they need to ask or do whatever.
Nope.
Guido, you good?
Yeah, I'm just working on translucent aliens. It's really hard because most of the aliens on Google are from the Alien movie.
Yeah, I know, right? I've
Not
had
what
that.
I want.
I've had that exact same problem. Looking up, like, I want to look up an alien who's this, and then I see an alien that's that. And it's like, no, I don't want a xenomorph. I would look for xenomorph if I wanted that. God. Anyways,
Wait, does he look like the Chosen from XCOM 2?
he could if he wanted to. Guido, do you know what we're talking about?
I don't know.
Look up XCOM 2, The Chosen, and just like an image search should get you some things there. I think I'd be okay with that. More hair, but I'd be okay with that. Okay. So, Aberoon. I will get it. Aberoon. Let's talk gear. What do you want to buy first? Your gun.
I want to buy a gun.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and
Well, hey.
ammo
What?
or
a
energy
shot.
packs or whatever it uses.
Well, yeah, for a thing, it basically serves the same function. I could give you some of the lore reasons why energy guns still need ammo, but you don't care. So, point being,
Well, that's just simple physics.
yeah, I mean, you need something for the energy to come. And what's funny to me, actually, is even blasters in Star Wars do have ammo packs, and there's a pretty good reason for it too.
Yeah, they're weird.
Yeah, that's the reason right there. They're weird.
It is, and it's actually the reason. Well, technically, you can actually see them because they're not actually lasers. They're some sort of whatever.
I mean, they're moving on. All right, so we're gonna make a shotgun cost 3 gold.
Okay, I'll buy that then.
Now, the way I envision this, I'm liking the modularity of the ship. I kind of want to do the same thing with weapons. And I'm going to again turn to Guido with thoughts on this one.
Okay.
The idea, the basic idea here is, you have a shotgun. It has X slots, X expansion slots or X modification slots, kind of like Fallout does, kind of like XCOM does, that kind of a system. And so then you have certain many slots that you can swap in or upgrade it in order to keep it concurrent, right?
Okay.
Any thoughts on that?
Right off the bat, what I would say is probably have like different, I'll say, qualities of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Lowest quality can only have like 2 upgrade slots. Mid quality have 4, and then high quality have like 6.
I like that idea. And that prevents me from having to come up with a whole bunch of, like, dull weapons or Hyperion weapons. And it means you guys have less to keep track of bookkeeping wise, which I always feel to be a good thing. So
Yeah.
I think I agree with that completely. Aberoon, you have a low quality shotgun.
Oh. Starting off with Vendor Grays.
You have 2 expansion slots. Now, so expansion slots are the intention mentally, from what I'm thinking, is for those to be straight stat upgrades, right? Boring stats, in other words. This will give you an increased chance to hit, like a scope. This will give you an increased chance to crit. This will give you, more magazine size, so your ammo count goes up, right? That fairly basic stuff. If you can think of anything more inventive that you want, I'm totally ears. I'm all ears on that. Now, if you want to buy ammo before mods, that makes sense to me.
I would probably prefer to be able to shoot stuff instead of just having a pretty gun. Some may disagree, but...
Okay. So, obviously, you're going to be doing...
Wait. What's your charisma?
My charisma is 16.
You might be able to bluff someone with a pretty gun.
That's true. He's got a point. Have you seen...
This is the TL4 9000. It can blast a hole through a ship at 500 meters. And it's a shotgun.
Have you seen Stargate SG-1, Guido?
Oh, yeah.
It's like one of the first episodes. It's actually Emancipation. And they buy back Carter by giving them a pistol, just a 10 millimeter.
That's right.
And it's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, this is great. Shoot, shoot. And they're walking away. It's like, come on. It's only got like 5 more rounds in it. Let's go. So, okay. Ammo, then. So I'm going to make ammo. So I've actually put some thought into the math of ammo. And I think I'm going to base the ammo math off of the same structural math I was doing for most of my black magic in the base magic system. Not only for balancing purposes, but for the obvious fact that guns should be doing pretty decent damage. At least makes sense to me. Again, I'm going to turn to Guido. Any thoughts on that? Do you think I'm terribly stupid on this?
Say that again, because I wasn't...
The idea is, so, like, for example, you can buy a 2d6 ammo, or a 5d6 ammo. If you buy a level 5 ammo, it does 5d6 damage. In other words, basically doing the general math of all the balancing math I already did for the black magic.
Okay, so instead of having the shotgun do 2d6, you're saying the explosive ammo is going to do 2d6.
Exactly.
Okay. So you're wanting, like, balancing of the ammo types?
Well, I'm just thinking, yeah, the idea is the ammo's going to be balanced. I already have some thoughts on that, and that's not going to be too hard. I'm just curious what you think in general, like if you have any thoughts or comments on that. Again, just kind of turning to you for your expertise here.
As much as I hate to say it, I like the idea of the Borderlands ammo.
Okay.
Having incendiary or...
yeah. Incendiary, cryo, shock. Corrosive, I believe, was there as well.
Yep.
I think there's one I'm missing.
Well, explosive.
Explosive, yeah. Knockback.
And what's the alien? The like iridium.
Oh yeah. The Doom. I don't remember what's called. I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember what it is though. But yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I like that idea. I think I'm going to put together a chart of so it's going to be so okay. We're going to have the way it's going to work is you buy a level of ammo, and it'll be like I said, you buy level 5 ammo, 5d6, right? And then based on the type of ammo you're buying, so if you're doing energy, right? Energy packets or whatever. So energy packets, just this is just off the top of my head. I'll make a chart for this, but energy packets can in addition to just doing the 5d6, do shock damage, which is a potential stun, probably burning damage, and probably the mind affecting damage. I can't think of what it's freaking called, but something like that, right? In addendum to just doing damage.
Okay.
And the damage type will just be energy, and the end. Thoughts? Goods? Bads?
Sounds fine to me.
Okay. So I'll make a note, actually, just so I don't forget to make that chart. But for right now, I assume you basically just want ammo that does damage.
Yeah, I'd prefer to do damage.
Chart.
You don't want to heal them with your bullets?
Well, I considered it. But,
That's a thing in Tor.
I'm not a bounty hunter.
That is a thing in Tor. For those of you at home who think I'm kidding, in Star Wars: The Old Republic, a bounty hunter can heal people by shooting them. I'm not kidding. It looks hysterical.
It's well versed in lore.
Live.
Borderlands 2, the siren can too.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. Let me think. All right. So again, ammo imported. So how do I want to scale this? Give me just a second. I'll look into this. So where's the cost? Here we go. All right. So we'll set it. Yeah, we'll set it based on this. Okay. So obviously you're going to be doing energy damage. Let's Okay. Let's say let's do some dice rolls. Let's do that way. Because this isn't something that's static, right? I mean, you have what's available. That's what you can buy. So, first of all, we'll do these. Do me a charisma roll, by the way.
Okay.
Because that's going to be relevant, too. Okay.
So, I put my focus... So, do I have any focus skill bonuses right now?
What did you focus on?
Diplomacy.
Then, yes. Focus... You would go... Oh, what's your focus at?
Yeah.
3.
Okay, so it's a... Okay.
It should technically be higher. Whatever.
Whatever. All right, so I walk into Bob and Dale's gun shop. Like, hello, boys, I need some ammo. And they kick me out.
What did you roll?
So that's 2 plus that sort of stuff. That makes it an 8.
Now, this is funny, because I rolled a 3.
Oh.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
We all just sit at each other, and stare at each other and blather for a bit.
And then you just start throwing insults like, man, you're really ugly, you know that? God.
Now we start talking, like some shop or something.
Okay.
An old friend walks in and I forget what's going on.
Oh, right. So I want to buy ammo. So you still win that, barely. But I'm not going to give you a discount on that, sorry. Because that was such a terrible roll. By the way, Guido, whatever you decide your focus is... Oh, you decided it was pilot, didn't you?
Yeah, it's going to be piloting. I need to figure out how to do the expertise.
Yeah.
I think that's just going to overpower.
I do agree. Well, we can talk about that more in a second if you want to. All I want you to do right now is write down 8 as your focus value.
Okay.
Okay, so Here's the ammo they have available. They've got a level 2. This is all standard ammo. Level 2, another level 2. Hang on, let me re-roll that. That's stupid. A level 2, a level 5. Whoa. And a level 3 ammo, all of which have shown up.
What's the costs on these?
Well, the level 5 ammo cost more than you have.
I figured.
The level...
That's for higher levels.
I was really hoping you'd do better on that roll.
Well, I mean, I'll do it again if you want a better number. But
Sure, go ahead. Roll it again. No,
there you go. There you go. That's a 27.
There we go. Suddenly, miraculously. No. Okay.
That's fine. Well,
We'll say the base level 1 ammo you can get effectively for free. It does not even cost a gold, okay?
okay.
We'll go ahead and say the level... We'll actually make a level 2 ammo available as well. Let's do this a little differently. Let's do it this way. The level... It's going to be 2, but then 3, but I need to be exposure. Okay.
I gotta do level 1 ammo.
The level... We'll go ahead and make the level 2 ammo 6 gold.
Okay.
And the level 3 ammo we will make 18 gold.
Okay, well, the only one I can possibly afford is the level 2.
I don't remember how much gold you have. I've already forgot.
I've got after buying the shotgun, I've got 7 left.
Okay. So you could drop the 6 and still have something left over if you wanted to.
Yeah, the problem is I've got to do armor, too.
True. Unless you want literally 0 AC.
No.
I guess that's not true. You have 3 AC.
Yeah, I would have 3 AC.
From your decks.
Oh, yeah.
You're super dodgy.
Well, how much, let me ask this, how much does armor cost?
So, again, imported armor.
Yeah.
Let me think about this for a minute. I'm already dissatisfied with my own numbers here. I like to standardize. For my viewers at home, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I like to use something as a basis and then build off of that. You know, like we're doing with the ship HP. Start with a baseline, work from there. So I'm thinking, is this Mario Kart music? This is Mario Kart music.
Oh, by the way, when we warp, we better have some, like, Star Control 2 hyperspace music come in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to the 3 people in the audience who even heard of Star Control.
Did you see the remake gameplay footage?
No, I haven't actually.
I gotta show that to you. I mean, it's last year's stuff, but so who knows if it's actually going to come out?
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh, no. Wait, that's not the link. You didn't send me a link. Now you sent me a link. Mute. There we go. I'm on camera. I gotta mute stuff real quick here. Okay. Here we go. Ammunition. Alright. That's worthless. I'm gonna have to make up numbers, aren't I? Okay, I can do that. I can do that. Nobody else does what I do. What the hell? It's so strange. Okay, here we go. Alright. So that means it's going to be based on that. Okay. It's going to be based on that. So I could do that. That's actually a really simple system. Okay, no, I like that. That's what I'm going to do. I've got it.
All right.
Okay. All right. So, new numbers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The 2d6 is actually going to cost 11 gold. Or, no, that's the wrong number. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. 2 gold. It's going to cost 2 gold, okay?
That's better. Yeah.
The 1d6 Again, pretty much free. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's going to be 9 gold for the 3d6. Okay.
Okay.
So armor costs. Okay, so personal shields are a thing, and operate pretty much exactly how you'd imagine. Personal shields are effectively going to be pure DR or SR, but probably DR really, and not affect your AC value at all.
Okay.
And then you're going to have more traditional armor, which will purely affect your AC. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, you could get a piece of plate armor which will, I think, would increase your AC by a total of 1. Because you'd lose your dex bonus, but you'd get 4 AC out of it. So you'd go up to 4 AC on that.
How much are we looking at for personal shields?
Let's do that off of these, I think. Yeah, that's a good idea. So, so while you're in the weapon shop, they're like, you're like, hey, you got any personal shields? Like, yeah, we got a couple in.
Convenient.
We've got a 5 DR personal shield and a 5. Hang on, reroll. 5 again. Oh my god.
And another DR5.
No, this one's a 4.
Oh.
Well, whatever. We got a 5 and a 4 DR shield available right now.
How much for them, my man?
We'll do this.
Could you wear both and get a DR9?
No.
It's like wearing 2 layers. Come on.
No.
I've broken your system, sir.
You wouldn't be the first person to break my systems. Okay.
I just figured I'd get that question out before it came into the comments.
That's true. People will be like, dude, why does he just buy both of them? Duh!
Sorry.
Okay, so, I think for the moment, I'm going to go ahead and go with my gut on that. So, the 5 DR1 is going to be 15 gold, and the 4 DR1 is going to be 7 gold.
Ooh, okay. We know it then. I'm going to forsake getting level 2 shot to get that DR4 one.
Okay. So 7. So that's all your gold, basically. But you now have 4 DR and 1d6 basic energy type ammo. Do me a favor and note that it's energy type.
Okay.
Just somewhere. I don't care where. Because energy damage is another damage type. I'm going to start rolling into things, basically. Okay. Well, hang on. Guido emailed me. Oh god, it's hideous.
So that is about 8 or 10.
Oh my god, that's a lot of
to-
stuff. Holy crap. I'm rather on a computer.
Alien concepts. I'm just trying to get an idea of what you're picturing for the alien,
Okay.
because it's going to help me build that.
I'm with you. Do you want to do any gear purchasing?
I would probably have I don't know if you have like a vac suit. It's a thing from... Basically, if you get ejected into space, you have a limited survivability.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And yeah, that's totally a thing.
Okay. So I'd probably have that. Not so much... It may have some minor armor type qualities, but not much. Pistols.
The pistols I gave you, obviously.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and make those medium quality pistols. So 4 slots each. 4 mod slots each. And I'll go ahead and say that to start, you have... yeah, let's just make it basic. You have 5d6 ammo. Now. Level 5 ammo. Energy type, again. I think... Yeah, you did energy, right? Right?
Energy? Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, okay.
It makes sense. So yeah, level 5 ammo, so that was 5d8?
5d6.
5... That's not damage, that's...
That's damage.
Oh, jeez, okay. 5d6.
Oh, so I do need to ask what the damage and range on the shotgun is.
Right, that's a good question. We'll roll for it. I think that's a good idea.
Great.
Yeah, we'll do this. This is going to be great. This is going to be the best roll ever. I'm going to re-roll that.
It turns out to be a weak sniper rifle instead.
Oh, this is much better. We'll give you... This is actually pretty decent, I think. 30 foot range.
Okay.
Effective range on that.
All right.
I mean, for a shotgun, I think that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
And I guess
what
we
about
should...
the damage?
So the shotgun, at the moment, doesn't add anything to damage until you start modding it, because it's a low-level shotgun.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just doing a normal 1d6.
Yar.
Okay.
And Guido, your pistols have an effective range of 50 feet.
And I'm guessing we're playing the whole shotguns or AoE weapons type thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a bunch of people clustered up, you will hit all of them.
All right. And... Oh, good. That's just my range with point-blank shot.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
By the way, Guido, I think this one fits best for what I'm picturing, if it had hair.
Excuse me.
Okay.
It's creepy. I don't want that on my ship.
He has hair, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
And you are humanoid, for reference.
Yes.
Just to make that... I mean, there are non-humanoid races, so I wanted to make that clear. Also, as an aside, you have an innate ability to hover slightly, basically the float effect.
Okay.
I don't know if I've mentioned that, and I don't even know if it'll be relevant, but it is true. So, you also don't have to. You can turn it on and off at will. As a free action. Okay. So, did you want to buy anything else, Guido? I know you want to think about the devices, so if you want to just sit on that and leave some gold for purchasing more, totally cool. I get it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to save some for the utility items, so...
Okay. So, for our viewers at home, if you're not aware, we're kind of building Guido as a utility tech rogue, basically. Which is exactly as cool as it sounds. He's going to be able to like walk up and shock one guy and net one other guy, and then shoot a thing that's going to get rid of this stuff, and he's going to jetpack back and then shoot some other guy, and he's probably not going to be able to do all this in one round. But the point being, he's going to have some options. He's going to be able to do quite a few things.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to have to think about the backstory and looking ahead, so...
Okay. I get you. Alright. Oof. So we got that, we did that. Where's my other notes? I have so many notes. It's actually funny. Set that up. So I like to ask my players this question when I hit a certain point. And the question boils down to, what would you need to start playing right now? Like, what is currently unfinished? Now, I obviously know Guido needs to think about his utilities, so that's already on the list. Is there anything else?
I mean, Not really. I mean, I would say mundane equipment, but we can kind of abstract a lot of that away, especially since we literally bought an attachment for the ship that says it is stocked with mundane equipment.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I was actually gonna mention that, but because you bought that, it's like, you know,
oh, actually, so I did get the armory. Does that mean we have like some like, basic quality weaponry and armor in there? Because I know the description in the actual book says it came with it, but
give me a charisma roll.
yeah. So if you went to Honest Franks or Lazy Larry's.
Pretty much.
All right, this plus.
What's your focus?
Yeah. This plus 6.
I should just say I need a focus roll from you.
18.
That is pretty good. So we'll go ahead and say you do have some basic level weapons in there.
Okay.
Why don't we go ahead and put a... Let's be nice and across the board. We'll give you one of each basic weapon type. Low quality, no mods, and 1d6 ammo in each. Okay?
Okay.
But so you have a spare pistol, a spare shotgun, a spare assault rifle, a spare sniper rifle.
Yeah, and these are basically for emergencies.
Yeah, exactly. This is the, oh god, we're being boarded, quick, you know. Or if you get someone else on board temporarily and you want to give them a gun. Or if you meet some natives and you want to trade them a gun. These are the kind of things that are available to you. I think because you got an 18, I'm going to give you one bonus on there, though. And I'm going to let you decide which gun it is.
Okay.
Which gun type.
The sniper rifle.
Okay. We'll go ahead and say the sniper rifle has 46 in it. 46 ammo.
Oh. Okay. There we go.
Awesome. So, any other needs to be done before we could start questions?
I don't think so. I could play this character, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Guido?
I mean, as long as we're not getting into combat.
Well, I don't anticipate you getting into combat in the very first session, but I know you guys, so...
I know.
I mean...
There is one thing. I need to come up with a name for the weapon.
Yes, you do. What's Crichton's gun?
What, John Crichton?
Yeah, from first game. He calls it something.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a female name, I know that. Winona, that's it. No, don't do that. I did have one other question for you, Guido.
A second.
Okay. Actually, I have two other questions for you. Well, I guess I can check that over here.
What was her name? Vera
Vera?
from Firefly. Jane's rifle.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to look that up.
No, it's
it was
okay.
gonna bother me.
No, I'm with you. Okay, so I notice, I'm looking at your name, Guido, and I notice you don't have the at the end of it, so I'm assuming you decided...
No, I was going to ask you about it. I couldn't remember what it was. So it's YA?
Yeah, capital YA. So you have proven yourself to the Lavari people. I assume that's also going to affect your age. You already said... oh, never mind, it's right there. 227. Okay.
I figured that was when I started counting.
Okay. I'm with it. That makes sense.
I'm older than that, but that's when I started counting.
That makes sense. I like it. I'm with it. So that answers that question.
Is the name appropriate?
No, yeah, that works.
That
works.
Okay.
Eleparos?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
There we go. Sorry. That's my eyes going out. That's not me having problems there. I need to check my glasses one of these days. So the other question, so the first question I was going to ask was the thing. Obviously that's solved. The other question I had for you is, so the colony that went to the extant system is a relatively recent thing. That only happened about 30 years ago when that group of Lavari went out there and started doing that. basically, what I want to know is what your life was like before that. And you don't have to get into specifics. Now, I already talked with Sis about this a little bit as well, and I know you don't know a lot about the Imperium as a whole, but here's the really broad strokes. The core Imperial worlds are basically paradise. Think Earth, Star Trek, TNG era, post-scarcity, no real crime, do whatever, right? The further out you get from the core Imperial worlds, the more that comes down to something more like, Star Wars or Firefly or
Sure.
Babylon 5 or whatever.
As you'd expect, yeah.
Exactly. So your location, where you lived for most of that period, is severely determine what kind of life you lived, which is why I started with that. Now, transportation is a quick and easy thing, and many people like to transit around, but most of the Luvari live on... I actually can't think of the name off the top of my head, forgive me, and I'm not sure I have it written down, but their home planet, which is a core Imperial system. It's one of the earlier systems that was found by the original Concordat of Sentient Life way back. It was like the 5th race they found was the Luvari.
Okay.
So, one other small species note: Luvari don't procreate all that often. Usually once every 50 years ish, and they do they have romance and pairings, but actual biologically producing a new entity is a very rare and very difficult thing to do. Obviously, since they are basically partially energy beings.
Yeah.
So you kind of figure, right?
I kind of picture that as they would have to give up part of themselves.
Exactly
Yeah.
right. So,
So I'm picturing being on not an outer planet, but definitely not in the core.
okay.
But he got his initial desire to fly and became a pilot from going between those worlds.
Okay.
So he traveled the core and spent more time in space than any specific planet after he left his the home world.
Okay. I totally get what you're going with that, and I like that idea too. I actually feel like there's a proper term for that. Spacebound. The kind of person who lives on a ship.
Voidwalker.
Voidwalker. Yeah. So I like that. I like that concept. That fits a Luvari very well too, and yeah, I imagine you've seen plenty of stuff, and plenty of sites and plenty of systems as you've been going to and fro. I do have one small question. Have you ever been to Starhome? Now, what's Starhome?
Yeah.
Starhome is an artificial sun.
Okay.
It's the interior. Believe it or not, I worked out the physics on this one. The interior is inhabited of this star.
Oh.
And it's pretty much where the Imperial government is. That is the headquarters of the Empires inside Starhome. So it's entirely feasible that you would have either been near it or been into it, given A, the length of your career, B, the fact that you have traversed so many different areas, as a Voidborn or as a Voidwalker.
So I would say that I've flown into it, basically delivering VIPs and dignitaries, but I haven't actually stayed there.
Okay.
Other than like refuel the ship and then take off again.
Okay, awesome. I like it. So that's that. That's that. Okay, I think that's most of the major points I wanted to hit for your backstory. If you have anything else to add, please feel free to do so.
Sure.
And of course, if you want any clarifications from the setting, just go ahead and come to me. Third, so you're a politician,
Yes.
but you're 50.
Yeah. 52.
52, excuse me. So you've been around for a bit.
Yeah.
In fact, okay. That means you were alive when the Tumarok invaded.
Wow.
You were
Okay.
pretty young,
Yeah.
actually. In fact, you would have been. Let me do the math. Uh, I can do math. 8. You would have been 8 years old when the
Oh, okay.
Tumarok invaded,
Just a wee little lad.
and you were living in the zone that they invaded.
Okay.
You obviously got out. You were one of the people who escaped, unless you don't want to be.
Mm, we'll let fate decide. Even I got out. I did not get out.
Okay, so now I don't even know if our viewers know this because this is something that didn't come on camera that much, but the Tumarok didn't kill any of the people as they were invading the Dry Reach zone. They weren't really, they don't really understand how a lot of concepts works culturally or societally, but they understand ownership, right? So they took ownership of these people, but they don't really understand ownership, like they weren't treating them like objects because by the way the Tumarok culture works, anything you own is something that is innately of value, so you have to take really good care of it. So they took really good care of the people that they claimed during this period of time. So you then spent your from you when you were 8 until you were 22 living under Tumarok, whatever you want to call that. I hesitate to use the word rule because they didn't tell you to do anything or make you do anything except for stay there.
Basically, in a really good zoo.
Yeah, pretty much. You were in a really well kept zoo. You literally lived better than most people outside were doing. And when you were finally released, thanks to some negotiations between the Dominion and the Tumarok, you found a world that had discovered the concept of war. New ley line,
Yes.
some ley lines being repaired, all that stuff, all this stuff, and it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I think what probably happened then is that since I guess when did Stonehold begin to reform? Shortly after that, or
We'll roll for it because it was within about a year. Yeah, let's just say within a
okay.
year.
So Stonehold reforming over there was about as far away from where he was as possible.
Yeah.
So he went over there.
Yeah. Though it also helped to explain why a half-elf dwarf is in Stonehold. Although
Yes.
racial lines have blurred a lot in the last few years, so I wasn't even going to raise that really.
Yes.
So you beelined for Stonehold. Now, were you involved in the initial? There's actually a term for this: governance crafting of the Republic of Stonehold.
I'd say he probably was not the most major player, but you'll find his name in several documents. Yes.
Okay, so you were one of the. There is a
Most
term for that.
most likely as even though it's more integrated, like a cross-racial advisor, something
Okay.
like that. Because half elves, I'm guessing, in this setting are pretty well adapted to that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you were part of the initial establishment of that, and you're doing that, and then aliens showed up.
Yeah.
What was your reaction to that?
Well, it depends on how they showed up.
Well, the first thing that happened was a ship showed up in orbit, big one, capital ship, and they sent down shuttles, and the shuttles contained dignitaries and people and scientists and astrologers and Sis's character's mother, who was actually one of the scientists on that initial expedition, and a whole bunch of members of the Factors, which are elementals. They're elementals of all type, biological animals, energy elementals, that kind of a thing. And so a bunch of elementals came on this ship, and humans, elves, races you're familiar with. So,
Okay. So, I mean, he'd probably be, obviously hesitant, but probably one of the first actual diplomats to approach them because he's used to being around technologically based races.
that's true, because you're really used to that with the Tomb Rock.
Yes.
In fact, you were probably like, oh, that's where that came from, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that idea. So you were involved in some of that initial outreach, and I like the idea. So I'm hesitant on this one, but I like the idea that the Empire, or at least one of the Empire's branches, reached out to you to offer you employment in the Empire on Primus.
Oh, okay. So say if we go off-world, and that kind of
No,
breaks stuff.
no. Staying
Okay.
on Primus. Now, you could still reject. That's totally fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess they'd probably do that since Primus is kind of going the way of they're not really unified, so we still need to put people in certain locations. Hey, that nation's forming. Why don't you go be our representative there?
Yeah, something along those lines.
So okay,
So, did you say yes?
yeah,
So let's go ahead and say you were approached specifically by the military branch, and because they're the one who handles that kind of things usually, and they're like, "Look, nation forming, stuff going on. We just want ears to the ground. We're not asking you to betray anyone or do anything. We just want information from you."
yeah. It's literally just putting together reports.
Yeah, we just want to keep abreast of this,
Yeah,
and so
nothing wrong with that.
now, I like this because I like the idea that this helps some of his early career.
Hmm.
Like, I like the idea that Aberoon is smart enough to be a politician when he's become one, but that barrier to entry because of the lack of corruption was just too much to overcome. But a few
Yeah, I
strings were
mean, he's
pulled
basically
here
one of
and
those guys
there.
that got a bunch of good breaks early on, then just kind of coasted and stayed where he was.
So, yeah, so there were a bunch of good breaks early on.
Hmm. I mean, I mean,
I just realized the viewers can't see me. I'm doing the quotes thing. There you go. Thank you. Good breaks happened, and then you got a decent amount of votes, started crawling your way up, and then you started doing your own thing. I'm also going to say that after the first several years, uh, the military reached out to you and said, "All right, listen. Not the first several years. Let's go ahead and say it was like 15 years. Good, nice, big, huge chunk of time. Okay." So 15 years of loyal service. Obviously, they helped you get your position. I also want you to do me a favor and add, let's say, 2,000 credits to your currency.
oh, okay. I can almost buy my whole ship for that.
It's a decent chunk of change. Hard to turn in because nobody on Primus accepts credits.
Yeah.
But
You know, what are you gonna do?
But I mean, not to spoil anything, but credits might be useful in the future. So, anyways, point being, they gave you some credits. They gave you assistance. They would also give you information, like if you're like, there's this one bill I really want to push forward. Can you help me find out such and such? Yeah, sure. Hang on. That kind of a thing. After about 15 years, the military contacted you and said, "We're kind of withdrawing a little bit from Primus as an overall organization, the whole gamut of us. We want Primus. Primus has not stabilized politically, and there's still a lot of issues going on. So we're just going to kind of pull back a little bit."
Okay, he'd probably advise against that, but they do what they need to do.
Actually, I just realized I take that back because you were just writing reports. You weren't taking orders. I'm sorry. I'm a little tired. I take that on me. So the Empire reached out to you and said, "We're pulling most of our direct agents out, and we're not giving orders. We're not interfering anymore. But we very much still need people to have eyes on the ground. So if you're still cool with doing that, we can still recompense you with Imperial credits. We can keep coming those into your person because you don't have an
Okay,
account."
this kind of sounds like you can't fire me, so you're just like moving me to the basement. The
Oh, no,
boiler
no, no, no,
room.
no, no, no. It's not that. The problem, actually, you know what? I take it back. I take the so instead of just giving you credits, they will say, "How would you like to be paid?"
I would like to be paid.
Yeah.
I mean, what other options are there than credits?
Well, we don't sell women.
Well, okay, I don't know why you went there the first thing, but we know what's
We've
on your
seen
mind.
your reports. We know what you're. No, gold.
I read those things for the articles, I swear.
Gold is an option. Obviously, credits if you want to come, if you want to leave the Primus system entirely. We're okay with paying you in favors. That is a system that would be in terms of numerical, that would be kept track of by chops.
How about 1/3 each?
1/3 each. Okay. So you're being difficult, but that's okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
We'll do it. We'll make it work.
He'd actually probably prefer to have a bit of. Well, I guess he gets paid for his political stuff down here already, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Probably still credits primarily then.
Okay. Let's go ahead and leave it at... Well, actually, let's roll for it. Let's not give you 2,000. That's too generous. That's too generous.
Well, okay.
It's too generous. I'm going to give you 746 credits.
Okay. Very specific.
And that's accumulated, so that's a decent chunk of change.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the last 10 years of you.
This
of
is
them
basically
sort of
my vacation/exploration fund when I go into space.
Yeah.
That's what this is going towards.
In fact, you could probably set yourself up pretty decently on an imperial system if you wanted to. But I want to ask this before I do all of this. We might have to retcon all of this. I imagine you're not the kind of character who's just going to say, I'm out, and then go to the core systems and live there forever, right?
Probably not. I mean, that's a backup plan if you get old and things don't work out.
It's a backup plan, you know.
There's like a little threshold in the bank account that says do not go below this line.
Yeah, okay. I'm with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and say that I want you to roll a politics roll.
Oh, okay.
But you don't have focus politics.
No.
So you just get to straight up roll int.
Okay, that's fine.
I actually thought you'd take politics focus when I was first thinking about this.
No, because I mean he's a moral politician. He's
no, yeah, diplomacy makes sense. Absolutely.
But that's still a 17.
17 is pretty good. So you are obviously. I've been very overt about the fact that some people just don't want people to leave Primus, and go out into the system. You have come across information and reports which you've also forwarded to the Empire. Actually, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. Have you forwarded those reports to the Empire?
They didn't tell me not to stop. So
okay, so which contains information that there are groups, and you don't know whom, and you don't know how, and you don't know if anybody's behind it, but there's enough of a pattern that this isn't just political obstinacy, that there is someone or someones who are actively... Poor green beans. Who are actively...
I was seeing if it would actually...
green screen, yeah. There's a clear pattern to this. There actively is an effort to keep everything on Primus. And it goes beyond just political obstinacy. There is an absolute reliance on Primus right now to function as a society. So, for example, if someone were to just break all the rules and go make a colony on some other world, they'd be screwed because they wouldn't have any of the tools they need to do it. They wouldn't have access to the resources. They wouldn't be self-sustaining, and they wouldn't be able to function in coordination with Primus itself. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So someone has clearly really carefully thought out this dependency on Primus thing and has built it into the system. And you are smart enough to have picked up on the pattern.
Okay.
And I don't know what you've done about that.
I mean, it depends on if he has anyone who'd actually back him if he spoke out against that. Obviously, we know that there's not a lot of people that do that based on the backstory. But if he goes up there and is like, we shouldn't do this, and then he gets shot dead, then he's probably not going to do it. Then again, 6 wisdom, so maybe he does.
I mean, 6 wisdom.
Okay, I keep forgetting that. So he's probably the guy who just speaks about what's on his mind. It tends to be good stuff, but he'll just say it.
I like the idea that you went up there and you were just like, blah, 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 and everyone
So what basically happened is that he saw it and he's like, I should probably prepare a report on this and bring it to the council's attention immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that, and there's probably uncomfortable silence after what happened.
Yeah, and then everyone was just like, and next on the agenda.
Yeah, which this is probably pretty common.
Yeah, it happens. Not just to you, actually. There are other politicians that happens to every now and again. So, a couple other things I want to establish really quick. First of all, do you have any political affluence whatsoever in any of the other organizations on Primus?
He probably has more, yes and no. He probably has more friends than political influence, if that makes any sense.
Okay, I'm with it.
Like, he probably knows, a couple of high-ranking people, and they're good personal friends, probably met through, some event or what the other, but it's not really politically motivated, although it could be if he decided to push it, which he generally doesn't.
Okay. Next question, which I just forgot. God, wake up.
The answer is 6.
Of course, I knew it. I like the idea, and I don't want to push this on you, but I like the idea that the allure of the inner planets, the inner part of the Primus system, is very appealing to him.
Yeah, it is.
Especially because there's nothing coming at it. Like, you don't even... Like, we have basic satellite data. We know there's planets there. That's it. Mm-hmm. that's all we're aware of.
Mm-hmm.
It's like... Ugh. Oh, right. That was it. I also... so how... Obviously, you're not illegal. We've already kind of covered that. But I'm going to go ahead and make you roll int.
Okay. I don't suck at that too much. Natural 20. It's 22.
Wow.
Yeah.
You, by your sheer brilliance... okay. How much do you care about illegal activities?
Like, not doing it, or how much do I care that it gets stopped, or what?
Finding out about it, stopping it, kind of a thing.
He's pretty concerned about it.
Okay, you spent 6 months putting together a report on this stuff that was coming in to the planet, onto the planet, and trying to figure out where it was coming from, tracing the routes, tracing the identicodes on the ship manifest, which were falsified at this point, and all that stuff, just basically proving that someone was smuggling in Chrism to Primus. And this is actually when you discover the very existence of the Chrism planet itself, the 8th planet in the system. And I mention that because most people aren't actually fully aware that system's out there. Or that, I keep saying system, that planet, the Chrism planet, is out there. And so you were like... Now, I don't know what you did with this. Obviously, nothing you did was effective. No offense. But you are cognizant of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's definitely some sort of public paper on it out now. And
which has already been suppressed.
Yeah. Sure, why not?
No, I'm kidding. There's this crazy dude who always has these weird ideas about space, who says that there's some, like, magic ore that isn't magicite. We know what that is. It's like some other magic ore that's been coming in illegally. We don't even know what it is. Alien. Like, I like the idea that your paper is so public that it's like the Aliens guy on the History Channel. And everyone knows about it.
So there's a half-elf, half-dwarf, so they're going up in the
Look,
podium.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's Chrism, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And so it's actually quite well known. It's basically a meme status thing. And
Right.
Except well, no, that's it. That's just the end of that sentence. Sorry.
Okay. Well, oh my gosh. If this was an actual NPC, Snarg probably would have abducted him by now.
Hey.
Maybe that happens.
I knew it. So Snarg abducts you
No.
in his twilight years.
He's like, there's this damaging, super crystal to this thing.
Okay,
Better
so
get
how
on
do you
that right
spell
away.
Chrism?
Chrysm.
Thank you.
Okay. So nobody will really do a whole lot about it. Do we actually have any physical samples of this thing, or is it... No? Okay. Well, apparently nobody will do anything about it, so he's going to have to mount some sort of expedition himself in order to go there, potentially make contact with whatever's over there, maybe bring back some samples. We know it's pretty dangerous. And for some reason, I can't get any of the interplanetary explorers on my side. There's just nothing happening. Probably getting blocked by those isolationists again. That's what happens.
People.
That's what happens. They have all sorts of funding.
Now, Guido, excuse me.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to pronounce this regularly.
Well, that's why I put the in parentheses at the end.
Eros. Okay. Or Eros. How do you prefer that to be pronounced?
Eros.
Eros. Okay. So Eros. Yeah. Eros. There we go. And if you want to change your font too, just let me know.
Okay.
Again, no rush on
First
that.
of all, so one, I have to send this to you before I don't.
Okay.
Two.
Oh, right. Yeah.
There.
What have you? Third, you should click that link if you haven't already. He's even got that.
Is there some sort of meme generator that you can do this real quick on?
For those of you who can't see what we're looking at, it's the guy doing the thing, and he's like, "I'm not saying it's Chrism, but it's Chrism."
This has gone from politician to conspiracy theorist.
Yes. So, what was I saying? Oh, right. All right. Okay. So, Eros. I would like you to roll a d20 with no modifiers.
That's a 9.
Okay. You've never heard of Chrism.
Okay.
It's not a very common thing, even out in the greater galaxy. And that's kind of why I wanted to roll for that, because it's kind of a random chance if you've even heard of this stuff. But with a 9, you've never even heard of it. You have no idea. Not a clue.
Makes sense.
And yeah, it's not really a common thing. Okay, so we did that. I think that's basically everything. So I'm going to go ahead and open the floor here. Anything else? Anybody else want to say or ask?
Not really.
That question about the pistols?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. You did ask. So, silencer, range plus 20, quick reload. I'm gonna say yeah. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Redoing some math in my head there. Okay. Aberoon. Just double checking.
Yes.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, now, so I know her character, who doesn't have a name yet, Tree Woman, really wants to get out into space. She's actively motivated to get out there. But what I want to know is, from your perspective in character, why did you hire a medic for this team?
Well, I figure that since Chrism is a very, very damaging substance to both the body and the mind, it'd be incredibly helpful to have a medic, and just for general purposes as well. I mean, if one of the crew members goes down, we're basically out a third of the crew.
Okay.
And, of course, she is an interstellar traveler, which
Yeah.
will probably be very useful in this expedition.
Okay.
I mean, it seems generally very well-rounded, and I like the fact she's not some gun-toting mercenary as well.
Yeah, like this other guy, Eros. I mean, he's just...
Well, he said, I can fly, and I was like, sold.
Yeah.
So that's about as far as I checked.
I also like the idea personally that you're, shall we say, pro-alien biased. So the fact that your crew consists of a non-Primus species and another non-Primus species just kind of appeals to you in character, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yep, let's do it. Let's make this nice and cosmopolitan.
Not
here.
saying I like aliens, but I like aliens.
I do have one last question for you. Do you want to hire any other crew for your tiny ship?
Do I have any money to do that?
I'm willing to stretch it if you do want to hire some people. The idea would be these would be lower level NPCs that would either help with roles as far as ship function, or you've played XCOM.
Yes.
Rookies that you could bring down on missions, you know?
Hirelings.
Yeah, basically. That's kind of what I'm thinking the direction here.
So, I mean, we need people for general maintenance and that sort of stuff. So, people that are generally well suited to those kind of tasks would be nice. If we can get somebody who's specialized in cooking, that'd be good.
Okay, so I'm
Because
hearing at least one cook.
we need at least one general assistant, janitor, for lack of a better term, I suppose.
Like a bosun?
Engineer.
Oh, an engineer. That's actually a better idea, yeah.
Oh,
So an
do you have
engin-
it? Oh, I thought you had the engineering stuff. You were just
Piloting, not engineering.
Yeah, he's a pilot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably an engineer then.
So
Mechanic.
engineer, cook, and a bosun, I suppose, is valid.
Sure.
For the general take care of everything, quartermaster kind of a job.
Yeah.
Although I think I'll probably be helping take care of that responsibility as well.
Well, you don't have to hire any people. This is also part of a question I'm asking out of character is, do you want a crew to think about and be a part of the adventure, or do you want to just be the three of you riding by the seat of your pants? Now, I'm going to tell you flat out right now, as a GM, if it's just the three of you, like, you're leaving your ship alone when you go down on missions and stuff like that. So,
No, I think a chef, a mechanic, and essentially like you said, a quartermaster would probably be nice to round out the crew.
okay.
And I guess we probably can't fit a whole lot more people on there without it becoming pretty cramped.
Yeah, even at that point, you're getting a little cramped. What's up, Guido?
I have to think of something.
Okay. I'll shush until you figure it out.
No. Continue.
Okay.
And of course, they've actually got, it's maybe a shabby ship, but they've got the right fittings in order to work. We've got a workshop, we've got hydroponics. There wasn't actually a galley or anything like that, but I suppose that's kind of included in these
Well,
kind of
there's
ships.
a galley. You have a place to cook food.
So there you go.
Okay. Let me look at this ship here. There we go. Do me a favor at some point. Add somewhere on your spreadsheet, if you want to put it under ship, whatever, but go ahead and add a crew thing.
Okay.
I'll come up with names and species later, unless you want to. I'll allow you to come up with species if you want to. But I'm going to go ahead and just give you these first three hires.
Okay.
Now, they are going to cost a little bit. Not a lot, but, there's going to be like a fee to... That can't be who I'm thinking it is. Hang on.
Steven
Chief Petty
Seagal from Under
Officer.
Siege.
That is it.
Yes,
That's
you're right.
exactly it. God, I haven't seen that movie in years. It was the cook.
We need a cook.
Yeah, no, it's valid. So it's great. So like add a thing for salary. Basically like salary, skill, and
Whoops.
salary, skill, name, and species are really all I'm going to ask you to keep track of here.
All right, salary. And what was the other one aside from salary and species?
Salary, skill,
Skill.
name, and species.
Salary, skill, species.
You
Okay.
know, what they're good at. So like I said, you can go ahead and you get a cook, you get an engineer, and you get a quartermaster right now. I'll just go ahead and give those to you.
All right.
Let's roll for their salaries. Hang on, I need a different dice for that.
Roll for the salaries, man. Like real life worked like that.
I know, right?
Oh, sir, you signed up. Let's roll this d20 to see what your starting salary is.
Oh, it's a
Like a
one.
I don't think I'll be working here. Sorry. Wait a minute. I have an advantage.
You're right. You're right. That was a really good resume, son. All right. So okay. Can I roll something other than a one? No, that was 3 ones. So all 3 of these will cost
Cheap as dirt.
are cheap as it is possible to be. Just go ahead and put 1, because that's what they cost.
Where did we find these people?
I'll let you decide that if you want to, or if you want me to, I will. Like I said, if you want to set up species, it is possible for these to be, non-Primus natives. I know you've got this whole aliens thing going on.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can grab some from, if they're for hire, Radnall's team.
That's
Their
possible.
planetary thing.
That's possible.
Wait, We could just have them all come from Blood Fox.
There
No,
you
they
go.
don't have. They wouldn't have like cooks and mechanics, probably. I don't know. Well, I mean, it's
No,
decades
they-
later.
I was to
Maybe
say-
whoever's managing it now actually goes into that.
Well, it's also true that see the problem was the real question at that point wouldn't be if they have them. It'd be more like why are they hiring them to you for so
No.
cheap?
I have an idea.
Uh-oh.
So our first mission is for Aesir.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't Aesir have engineers and cooks?
That's true. That's true.
So
Why does it? God, this Rainbow Road song just keeps playing. It's come up like 3 times on random. I'm dead serious. Anyways, okay. Yeah, you can make them members of Aesir. I'm okay with that. On loan from Aesir. Or on... that's not loan. That would be contracting, I guess, at that point.
Okay, so they're all they got a contract. We got these guys off of cruise.com.
So that would actually explain why they're so relatively cheap. And
Yeah.
that would mean, by logical discourse, that they're not that crap at their job.
I hope not.
Well, I mean...
and Aesir and Blood Fox still have a partnership. So
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's something I haven't really discussed yet. Obviously, upgrading your ship is something you'd be doing at the ship docks, which is up on Ilaria. That's the moon. It's the only actual ship dock, or shipyard, excuse me, space shipyard in the system that you're aware of. And so any basically whatever type of upgrade you want to do, it's going to be available there. You know, this isn't going to be a question of like availability or whatever. Buying new ships is going to be a little trickier, but I do want you to have the availability to do that. So I was kind of thinking about a specific format of accomplishing that, and I had a few ideas. So the first and most obvious idea is, you go to that shipyard and you say, I would like a such and such, and they go ahead and construct the thing. So it takes more time, but like maybe lower the price or something like that because they're building it. So you're basically paying for it wholesale, effectively. So time in exchange for money. I also thought of the possibility of you literally going to Ilaria and sending out a message onto the Imperial Internet, the HoloNet, and being like, I'm looking to buy a ship of this variety, and being able to buy something from out of system and have it shipped in. Higher price, but you get it pretty much like that. The second idea was originally my only idea. Especially since that will also pretty much fling the door open on what kind of ship availability you'll have, because you can buy anything at that point, as long as you have the money. Any thoughts?
salvage.
Salvage, that's a very good point. Salvage is totally going to be an option for bringing in ships. You could probably start a fleet if you really start working in that direction.
Yeah, although I imagine that's a little ways off unless we just hit it big,
Yeah.
straight up. Well, I don't know. No, I think it's one of those things where once we actually get the actual funds or whatnot to actually build a ship, we'll kind of decide
Okay.
what to do.
Guido, you were about to say something?
Oh, there's an added risk to salvage. I mean, if you're talking preemptive salvage, piracy.
I mean, I said from the beginning, you guys can be pirates if you want.
But also, if we are out salvaging, there is always the danger of pirates.
Huge danger. I'm not going to hide that from you guys. Salvage wrecks, or wrecks in general, are a huge commodity right now because there's just such a finite number of space-capable ships in the system right now. So any wreck, as soon as anybody finds out about it...
So, just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally forgot about something. Your commune, it's crap.
Oh, good. Okay.
This is actually important. I can't believe I didn't even think about this. You obviously do have a comm unit.
Yeah.
But it's a really slow one, and it's kind of low range. I don't know why I said slow. I meant to say low one.
I mean,
No, it's a low tier one, and so it has very limited range. That's what I was trying to say. Just for the sake of simplicity, we'll say, obviously, if you're on the moon, you can communicate with Primus, but your range is going to be so limited that you basically have to head towards a planet to communicate with it. Make sense?
Yes.
So, just wanted to make sure that was clear. What's up?
What about between the two of us? Or three?
So, you will have access to, basically,
Okay.
from Star Trek. Now, I've decided so I was talking to Sis about this. If I can just segue for just a second, do you mind? One of the things I used to do as a GM for classic D&D is I would make the mages, wizards especially, have their spell book. Now, I wouldn't make them actually keep track of page numbers. I wouldn't make them, decide which thing. I wouldn't do any of the paperwork, but their spell book had to be on their person in order to cast. The reason I did that was because it's a narrative tool at that point for me, And I'll give you a direct example. One time I had a party that had been kidnapped, and they escaped, but it wasn't a perfect escape. They basically just got out. Now, the monk that was with them and the fighter that was with them, they were basically okay, but the wizard's like, I can't do anything. So the very next thing that was important for them was breaking right back in and getting the frickin' spellbook back, So there are a couple of things I'm going to basically ask you guys to keep track of in the sense that you just need it on your person to function, and the personal communications are going to be one of those things. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have, we'll say 10 communicators to start with. Now, any of those can interface with the ship. So, for example, if you all three of you go out and you take all 10 communicators for some reason, you can still talk to the ship, whoever's on the ship. And those communicators can obviously talk to each other as well. Range-wise, barring interference, and I'm just going to tell you right now, there will definitely be interference on certain areas. But barring interference, it's planet range, so you don't have to really think about that. If your ship is in orbit, you can still talk to it.
Okay.
As Mega Man music starts playing. I don't know what is it, but this playlist. There we go. And somebody notate that, by the way, please. The 10 comms, the 10 personal comms.
I did. I put it on my equipment.
Okay, cool,
Like you were, yeah.
And what I'm probably going to do, just for the sake of, again, for that narrative law thing, I'm going to use these little poker chips and be like, okay, so Guido has a comm right now, Eros has a comm right now, and Abaroon has a comm right now, and I'll keep track of it that way, that kind of a thing, just to make sure. And again, that way it's not really paperworky, but still relevant. Ugh. So I talked about the comm, I talked about the distance. I didn't really talk about time. So your drive's kind of crap, right?
Well, I mean, it's level 2. It's not the worst.
It's not the worst drive that is available. It is going to be a decent trip going around through in system. I'm not going to make you fill the time, but this is probably going to be the closest thing to a classic D&D campaign, where it's like, I want to go to this town. Okay, so it's going to take you, 3 days to get there. That kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. It gives us more time for team building exercises.
If that's really what you want to put your crew through. I've got a mutiny risk chart I'll just pull up over here.
So, trust fall. Here's the airlock.
And I'm going to go ahead and give you something that I wasn't originally going to do. Go ahead and put this somewhere in your ship thing. You have a level 1 autopilot.
Okay.
Now, that is pretty much just good for going from point A to point B in space. That's not going to be able to handle jack otherwise.
Docking, though, right?
You will still need to dock with a level 1 autopilot.
Okay.
Now, again, autopilot 1 is like just point and go.
So basically, we got a gyroscope attached to the steering wheel, and that's about it.
Effectively, yes. Effectively,
Couple of rubber
yes.
bands.
Yeah.
Now, I notice, I just realized there's one other thing about your ship, if you don't mind here. I noticed you didn't buy any scanners. Or any scanning equipment.
No, I didn't have enough money to do all that.
I don't blame you. Obviously, you do have some kind of scanners. You have to.
Yeah.
I think we'll roll for how crap these are.
Great. I don't know roll for how good they are, but okay.
No, this is pretty good. That's pretty good. So go ahead and tell me you have a level 3 scanner.
All right. I have a level 3
Shot that
scanner.
And that's going to be... so that is the first tier that I would consider a combat-capable scanner, so you will be able to have some kind of heads-up information on enemies. And,
Good news, Eros.
and what kind of... it's more information on an enemy ship than you would get with a Tier 1 or a Tier 2. And that will scan out to a pretty decent distance. Say, basically, one planet to the next is about your range on that.
Okay.
So
we can see him coming
from quite a ways.
quite a ways. We can go and engage him in 3 weeks.
Yes. Unless they have a faster ship than you.
Well, that's pretty much a given. So if they're turned in the other direction, we'll just call it a loss.
And if they actually have FTL, you're screwed. Okay, so we've got scanners, scanner quality, we've got the autopilot, we've got comms. Just to heads up, I'm not going to give you this, but in the future, if you want, like, say, jamming or counter jamming, signal breaking, or if you want, like, encryption or decryption on your comms, that's going to be an extra device you attach, basically.
Okay.
But that's available, but you don't get it right now.
Yeah, but what are the chances we actually get into a fight? I mean, this is just not going to happen. All this stuff is just flashy preventative measures just in case something happens. We'll probably blow apart more asteroids than anything.
That's totally a thing. That's true.
Yeah. That's what I'll say to Eros when he asks why this ship is underarmed.
There you go. Why would we need guns on a ship? There's nothing to fight in space.
We've got 2 Gauss cannons. When we get to the obstacles in the center, we'll just blow some of them apart and fly our way right in through. It'll be smooth, my dude.
I'm just picturing.
I'm not going to do taco for this guy. Don't worry.
Okay. But Elipero is there. Elipero, yeah, excuse me, is there, and he's just like, what did I sign up for? Hang on.
That reminds me. I need a race that is interplanetary.
What kind? What do you want?
From a quartermaster. I was rolling for them, and I got like a natural 20, so I said, this guy has got to be from off-planet.
Okay, let me pull up the full list.
But I got a troll cook and a kobold mechanic, which I think is actually pretty perfect.
No, I agree. That sounds awesome. Where's my list? There it is. Okay, so an off-planet species. No.
How many no's is that? I don't think the text box will fit.
Hang on. Okay, so just gonna go down the list really quick. There's the Antethans.
Okay.
Sis is playing an Anthethan for reference.
Yes.
There's the Piltoth. That's the short, stocky kind. There's the Onurians. Those are going to be much larger, amphibious type. Scrolling down a little bit here. I'm not giving you a Luvari. Another Luvari. You've already got too many. There's the Madeira. No, actually, I take that back. Let's go with... Oh, that would be funny. No, I can't do that, though. It wouldn't make sense. I was going to give you a Vorsot.
Why don't we go with the Piltoth?
Okay.
Wait, is that the amphibian?
No, Piltoth is the short,
Okay, good.
stocky, highly technologically advanced culture.
Yeah, I think it'll be really, really great to have a guy with a huge Hannibal mustache going around and yelling at everybody because they've been taking too many cloths from the armory or something like that.
I was going to say, we can't go with the amphibian because you just know his bathtub's going to leak everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, I know,
I
right?
mean, and what are we going to do when the cook confuses his little bathtub for the soup thing?
Oh,
It's just
God. No. Just for that, I'm giving you guys a
Well,
sonic
not
shower.
with him in it.
Well, no. We'll just taste a little bit. Actually, it may be an improvement. It depends on how good this cook is.
Oh, God.
It's a good cook. It's a good cook. He's a troll.
Did you make fish soup? Well, it's very nice, Cookie.
Piltoth are four-legged, kind of centaur-like. But when I
Okay.
say... I shouldn't say centaur-like. Imagine if instead of horse, they're more like this. They're like right next to each other. So four stocky legs, right, like this, and
So they're kind of like a stool with a torso.
kinda, yeah. They have light scaled skin going on, and they're pretty strong overall. They stand at about 5 foot on average, so not super huge, and they have very dexterous fingers that can actually digits can bend in both directions.
That sounds really good for quartermaster then.
Well, like I
Okay.
said, they're kind of the tech people.
Yep.
So, oh yeah, and they have really weird, like, flat faces, no appreciably visible noses. Their eyes, of which they have four, are like two down here around the cheek area, and then two up here closer to the forehead.
Right.
And they're
Well,
usually
I'll take some getting used to, but I suppose we'll make it work.
they're pretty amiable. Usually, this guy, I was like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah, I love all those eyes.
Ah, look into my
My
eyes,
dude.
my dude.
All right, my man, you ready to do some quartermastering on my ship? It'll be great fun.
All right, I quit. I'm out. No more. I think that's legitimately everything at this point. I think we can finally call that good.
Yeah.
Unless, last check. Any miss anything, guys? Other than the gear that Guido's still got to set up. Or, excuse me, Eros has got to. I'm going to get used to that. Eros has got to set up.
I believe that's pretty much it.
Okay. And the
Oh wait, could I get a sword? Just like for pittance or
Yes.
credit or something?
yes,
Yeah.
you have a iron sword that does 1d8 plus strength damage.
Hooray. Need a melee weapon just in case. We'll upgrade that to some sort of laser sword in the future, but for now, that's good.
Well, laser swords, I mean, there's this whole organization. They have such a monopoly on the damn things. It's ridiculous.
I don't know.
Like, trying to get
No.
one.
No, you see, you don't want a laser sword. What you want is a chain sword.
There you go. Those are where it's at. Or a chain laser sword.
Yes.
Or a sword that shoots chain lasers. Anyways. I'm tired. What do you want from me?
I want to found
Shotgun that
an
shoots
organization.
swords?
There you go. There you go.
Oh,
Hey, there's a
I'd
gun
buy that.
in a game that shoots shurikens and lightning. That's actually a thing.
I'd buy that for $1.
Okay, so since I think we're pretty much good, other than Sis's character, I'm going to go ahead and chop off the recording. So,
Okay.